Okay, north-south is the other way. I don't know if I'm going to bother using GPS on this one. It's not a particularly big field. It does need a lot. Well, it's barley. Cereals do tend to need a lot of fertilizer, and I think one of the reasons why I didn't need quite so much on the other fields is because of the soil quality. But this one is going to be obviously the soil on this farm is significantly better, and so we are going to need a lot more nitrogen to benefit the crop. I think seed usage is lower because of the soil quality, but nitrogen requirements are just through the roof. And so we are going to get through quite a lot of this. Oh, don't hit the tree, please. Okay. However, that does mean I can reverse this into the corner for whatever good that will do. And, well, oh, we do have a bad patch of soil at the bottom there. Oh, good to know. But the rest of this field is, I believe, loam. And obviously the field next to us, that's oats, is probably going to need a similar quantity of nitrogen. And so to bring it from orange up to dark green is going to use a lot. Whereas this one is using a manageable amount. It's still a little bit more than I thought it was, so I could have added more slurry to the field if I'd known the requirements were this extreme. Because obviously I don't want to over apply nitrogen. I don't know if that's a bad thing. So slurry I tend to put up to about 100, 140 on crops like this. But this is seriously looking like I could have gone 160, 180 and it would still be fine. And we'd be using less. Anyway. So. Of course, I don't have to be entirely accurate so long as we get... So long as we drive over all of the field. I can go over bits that we've done. So like at the end here, we've already done that stretch. But you can actually see it because of the spot and spray. He's capable of turning the nozzles off. I've gone too far north on that, so... And without the GPS active, I tend to have a little bit more overlap. than I would if I was using it. But yeah, it doesn't matter. If it doesn't need it, it doesn't use it. Next field I will use GPS cars, it's a big one. Okay, again, not entirely on the line that I wanted, but it's good enough. Shut down half of it. Cut a straight line here. And there might be a little bit there that I need. And this doesn't look like it. I think we got that mostly covered. So straight down and back again. How are we doing on this? I must admit, I am happy with this tractor. It has served us well. I don't see us getting rid of it anytime soon. Although it does have 140 hours nearly. That's kind of a lot. And the last bit. Oh. And we'll fold this up at the end. This is a lot. Well, I don't know. We've used 1,000 litres of the 4 that we bought. Getting close to. But, I think we'll be okay with the next field. I mean, it's going to use a lot, but I think we should be okay. Alright, let's... How's that look? I think we'll raise the bar. I think because of the shape of this field, I'm going to run a full lap. And then we can just work the middle from there onwards. Am I missing the edge or not? I don't know. Seems to be some weirdness going on there. But, trying to keep the boom out of the hedge, and I'm really not doing very well at that. Still. I keep seeing orange at the edge of the field. I'm not sure if that's me missing bits, if it's... yeah, what's going on there. We're getting the majority covered, so it's good enough. Bits at the edge of the field might be slightly lower yield, but there's not a lot of crop that we're missing at this point. And then that field in front of us is gonna be soybeans, so it can remain red this year. Then we'll dump a load of slurry on it next year and figure out some form of rotation for it. It's the thing, we're not enforced with crop rotation with Real Ismus's seasons. It was a very, very good idea to rotate your crops. But this, you can plant what you want when you want to. I try to keep the crops rotated, but not. It's not a massive concern as far as yield is concerned. You get the same yield regardless of what was planted last year. Okay, we're down to 33,000, which is because we... No, I think that's the same. Okay, the money has not gone down. I want to Control C, Shift S, set a 90 degrees, yes, back, and yeah, until you actually move the tractor, it doesn't realign the GPS lines for you. But we're good now. So, just this field to do. I may do headlands at both ends again. Just so I've got a little bit more room to turn around. We can lower the boom now that we're not messing with hedges. And I think once we're done with the spraying, we'll call it a day. So next week, I'm guessing we'll probably be looking at November as our work month. We'll have the canola to sell. We'll have what else? I don't think we're up to silage selling season, although I might ship a little bit down there. And then probably some contracts if there are any. I think I will line up on this row, which is just along the top edge here. That's nice. Now I might need to do a little bit of spinning around at the far end in order to get get the top bit of the field done, and then we're really much looking at straight rows from the rest of it. Bits. So yeah, we're not going to clear the top half of the field. Plus I do want another row along that hedge. So we'll get close. Rotate up this bit. What do you reckon? Left turn? And I think because we already sprayed herbicide down here, there may not be a what's the word for it? We may not see the contrast of spraying. I mean, at least, yeah, at least now we're not limited to just doing one thing and then having to wait an entire month before you can do the next thing, or an entire growth step. Was base game 17 and 19 was you basically you could not you couldn't double fertilize. If you sprayed herbicide, then you could not spread fertilizer the same growth stage that in the same growth stage. With Farm Sim 22 you can, because the game is tracking each distinctly. So and it may be a function of precision farming, I'm not sure, but we are applying fertilizer after applying herbicide, and we haven't had a growth stage between the two. So I do like that deal. We're gonna, I'm not gonna spray on this, I'm not gonna spray one on the same day I spray the other. And we're playing 3-day months, so that's fairly easy to achieve. But, we're down to 60%, so we're chewing through this quite quickly. Again, I'm not sure if the lower level of nitrogen application is because of the soil or because of the crop. I'm going to guess it's crop. This section the tractor is now in, I believe, is loam, and we can see from the barley that barley needs a lot more for this bit. That yellow portion is going to be the same as we're up here. This yellow bit here is the same as this lighter green bit there. Actually, we should be looking at nitrogen. So the yellow bit, lighter green bit, this is lighter than that. So we're using less, about 140 there, 100 there, whereas this is using 180 and 100, 160? No. 120 there. So yeah, there's those things going on. And if we look at the soil types, yeah, silty clay, loam for all of this. It's a shame. That field I'm going to keep as grass. No? What's that? That field is going to be grass. And we haven't analysed that one yet. But I think that one is silty clay. So it's just going to be horrible for growing anything, and might as well leave it as grass because at least we get some benefit from it. Take that around, and keyboard's behaving itself. So, a couple more rows, we're done. And as I said, not sure what we're going to be doing next week. Probably some contracts, if there are any. It's going to be November, so it's going to be fairly tight on what is and isn't available. Sugar beets are available, potatoes, soybeans, sunflowers. So there might be some things we can harvest, but oh no, not soybeans, sunflowers and corn. But most of the harvesting will be done. And then there may be cultivating contracts, which we can't do because we haven't got a cultivator. There may be, what other contracts are there? Fertilizing, lime, if there's something that a farmer has not planted yet because it's a spring crop. Yeah, there's all sorts of things that may come up. Otherwise, it will be a very quick step through a few days where we just sell our perishables, sell some crop, move on to the next month. And typically that's our winter. I think last year we did chop down a few trees. I don't know we'll have the money for that this year, especially not since we're 80,000 down because we bought this field. But I wanted to get it while it was 20% below market to purchase, so that's always a good deal. And we'll look for these other fields around here, the one with the weeds, and I think there's one behind that single tree on the top of that hill that have some good soil in them. And there's one across the street from the farm there, which location wise looks like a good place to expand into. Obviously I like to keep everything in this area because it means we don't have to drive our harvesters halfway across the map in order to do the jobs. The only things we're driving for is our doing the contracts, and there's no options there. If you want to do a contract, it's on the other side of the map. You're going to be driving there, or you're going to borrow the equipment, in which case the equipment's all at the store, so you don't have to drive everywhere. And it's still sunny, so with all our fields fertilized, when's the rain due? Oh, not till much later. So it's going to rain this afternoon, which will help the fertilizer soak into the fields and will make the crops all happy and such. So I think we done well here. Anything in the sales? No, we're still looking at the same stuff. So not gonna buy anything from the store today. I'm gonna try and hold off buying stuff unless it's probably a telehandler or a tele-truck or something like that, where okay, I can position that down at the dairy because we have stuff to move there. But for the most part, I think we have all the equipment we absolutely need for right now. Thank you. Oh, what are you? Seriously? Dude, that just sucked. Okay, so what happened there was the keyboard did not engage GPS, and then so I pressed the button again to engage GPS, and it missed the Alt key but did select the X key, which means that it folded the equipment up, which really wasn't ideal, and so the tractor went racing off on its own. But we are back online. Okay. So this is essentially the last of the stuff we need to do on our fields. We have soybeans to plant on the other side, which soybeans planting season is April. That's not going to happen till April. And then July we'll have some harvests happening. So our farm is done for the winter, and at least the beginning of spring. And then, yeah, it's just going to be finding stuff to do and earning money for it and selling stuff for the next couple of months. But as I said, I'd like to jump through some of those as quickly as we can and get on to the next things that need to happen. Keeping an eye on the map. I think we can turn. I think we should have turned a little bit earlier. But manage that okay. This should close off this end of the triangle. And that should give me enough width on the boom to finish off the field. Come on, do your thing. Yes. I would say that was a successful application. We'll take this back to the yard. I'll empty out the IBCs. And it is midday. It is time for lunch. That side. Nice. Again. Put that over there. One, and that over there. So hopefully sometime before the ground freezes, we will have a silo there that we can put that stuff in so it won't freeze. Get that cleaned off. And get that cleaned off. I think what we can do is turn that off, go back, and we'll do that. Awesome. Hide visibility on. No idea how many screenshots I took, so I don't know if I have enough. But those that I've taken I will attempt to use as thumbnails on the videos this week for the YouTube peoples, and I will attempt to apply the FarmSim22 logo to it, so it's a little bit more attention grabbing. Alrighty, you sit there. I think I can probably park this. Oh, that's where the John Deere was. Well, tough. Park this in here. As good a place as any. Alrighty then. So I think we're good for today. All of our farm stuff is done. We have stuff to sell. That's it. And we will be back next Saturday for another installment on Maypole Farm. But for now, I'm going to wish you all a good week, and I'm out of here.